Okie dokie. Welcome, welcome. Um, Excuse me. This is a follow-up video to the ice-repos refactor we did just the other day. I left things in kind of an unpolished state, and I'd like to go back and tidy up, get it to a point where I'm happy leaving it as like an example that people can see. I'd like to make sure we're following like best practices and keeping things clear and simple. So let's just jump right into it. This is probably not going to be as long as the video as last time. We're just going to kind of go over each of the components and tidy up as much as possible. We might also make some other changes. But we'll see when we get there. So the first thing that comes to mind is in this, was it repository list here? Yeah, so this bit of code right here, we might pull that over to the type here. If we go to the organization type, it might be better if we just defined a helper method to get this, because this is kind of unyieldy. It's kind of, at first glance, it's hard to understand what's happening here. So let's go ahead and name this. And let's maybe call it list repositories. And it's gonna borrow self. It's going to have a range. It's gonna have a filter. And let's let GPT take over. So we have the filter, the range, the repo ID. So this gives all the repo IDs here. I want this to be an iterator, not a vector, so we don't collect. Thank you. And that's going to be use size range. Might as well make it, yeah, use size is fine. What's it complaining about? I think because it's returning an iterator with the reference, we need to specify that self is living as long as the iterator, and same with archive state. This needs to make sure it's living as long. That seemed to clear it up. Now what could we do here? So we have a range and a filter, so iter, filter. So, so this changed it to have skip after the filter. Does that make any sense? I don't know if that makes sense. It might. That might make sense. That might actually make more sense. Yeah. Sure, let's keep it like that. So now that instead of all this junk, we do org dot Actually, instead of having this on the organization, we can actually move this over to the repositories info, because that it's like based on that type. Like it doesn't access any other information from the organization. So that works. So org.repositories dot and let's come up with a better name for this. It could be like it's a what are we doing? We're filtering um we're filtering and we're taking out a slice. So we're kind of like viewing these or getting a list. Um let's just call this select, because we're kind of selecting like the range, we're selecting the filter. Let's just name it select. And then self.repositories.select, and then we can do the range and the filter here. I think the range can be copied. Filter is a reference. And can I do peekable here? Is that okay? Seems okay. Okay. Now, what is this? That's a whole repository. So we just want to do, let's name this repos, and then this will be repo, and then this is going to be repo ID is equal to repo.id, something like that. Info. Okay. What's this? Does range.implement copy? Seems fine to me. Actually, do we need that? What we can do actually is make this a reference. That should be fine. Or, I don't know. Because I think clone here is fine. And that also lets us, if we want to, like, say, for example, do something like this. Like that's like that kind of like lets the API be a little more flexible there. Otherwise, we'd have to like that kind of looks ugly. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's like valid syntax, so that should be fine. So that made that a little nicer to read. And then what we can also do here, if is empty, I like that. And then now we can remove this and do that. Okay, that cleaned it up quite a bit. I do like that. And this can be use store, use store. There we go. Oops. Nice. Looking good. So we get the repos that we want to, and I mean, select isn't the best name. I feel like we could come up with a better name. So let's think on that. Or maybe we can come back to it because I'm not quite sure what this is doing. Yeah, let's come back to that. Maybe we can come up with a better name. And looks like this is no longer relevant. And this can be, I believe this can be a static string. I think adder value is one way to do it. Okay. And yeah, I like where this file's at now. The repository list, it's clean, it's simple, it's kind of clear what it's doing. Yeah, I think we can move on. So let's go ahead and look at the repository card and see if there's anything we can improve there. This can actually be default, and that is just one less macro call. I'm not sure if that actually matters though, because it was like an empty macro, so maybe it doesn't matter. That all looks good. This can be an event, this can be a chain, so we could do like that. So if we go event to target, unwrap throw, and then it goes to dine into unwrap throw, and then check. Does that work? Oh, this is HTML. This should be HTML input element. Does that work? That does work. And let's do, let's make a helper function. So if we just go down here, let's just write it while we're here. So is checked, and we're gonna take mouse event like that. Just make sure that's right. Target and not throw, dine. I just basically want this here. This is checked. And then we'll stick this down here. Does that work? That does work. And and this can be just a call now. So that's a little easier to read now. So, okay, and that should be fine. I mean, we could structure this slightly differently. Yeah. Okay, so let's do this. If let's do some repo else. This is new syntax, well, new-ish. So now we have the repo, and then this will be repo.archive archive state equals if, just check like that. So that's slightly better to read, in my humble opinion. So this is clear that if the repo does not exist, we return right away, and then if it does exist, we assign it to either one of those two things. So that's pretty dang clear, or an improvement in my opinion. Okay, that control flow, I'm liking that. So we can do we are allowed to do a reference here. Yeah. Does it complain? It doesn't complain, nice. And then sure. Repository list has a warning there. Okay. Okay. So we have the list and the card. For the card, let's check. We don't need that. Let's do some docs. Very cool. Toggle state for a repository card describes what state, what archive state to set when the box is unchecked and checked. Very nice. Here not. Cool. So we have that. That looks nice. Pleasant to my eyeballs. Let me just organize this a little better. List. I like having my U's above everything else. It's kind of clear. Okay. I think this is good. I think this file is ready. So we can move on. And then I think the last major component we use is the paginator. At least the one that we touched. And this is kind of unwieldy. All these things up here. So let's separate our store accessors. Ooh, and this is also something that I wanted to change. Was how we did this page increment thing. So let's call this actually page size. I think increment, that's gonna be page size. And what we can do is instead of setting to, so this is the previous, let's put history up here as well. That's another hook. So these are our hooks up here. These kind of filters, this is all stuff that goes into the component down here, I believe. Oh, max pages is up here. Let's actually not mess with that right now. So previous, instead of doing saturating sub by page size, let's just do 1. And 1. And then this will just be max pages here. There. And then so the range will be the page times the page size. I believe. So it's the 1 page times page size. So yeah, that makes sense. And then times page size like this, I believe. So the page is actually just like the count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we calculate the page size. So on the next button, if state.page is, yeah, greater than or equal to max pages, there we go. There we go. And then down here, plus 1, and then we don't divide any of this. Whoops. Like that. I'm not sure if that's gonna work. Let's test it. Forgot the name of the repos. Let's do, does this work? I don't know if they have any public repos. Let's look GitHub. Can be any public organization, right? Site github.com, please. Oh, it's Humanode Network, is that it? here. Okay, that does display their stuff. Okay. So is it working though? Is it working still? It is 5. Okay, disables. Okay, yeah. There we go. Ooh, if it's perfectly divisible. Interesting. That's kind of weird. Oh, that's weird. So it displays an empty page. Does that make any sense? Not sure why it does that. Okay, so total repos is len. So if we change the size to like 6, sys now there's 11 pages. Okay, yeah, something changed. So now we have one more page after all of them that is empty. So we just need to do why is that happening though? This is commented out, doesn't need to be there anymore. Like, I can do that. Well, the problem with, okay, so the problem with this right now is that it's kind of hard to keep track in your head. So what if actually, instead of like, what if we just didn't add stuff here and then the previous button class? Or what if we started at 1? So info default for state, page starts at 1, reset starts at 1, like that. Okay, so we have 10 starts at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then here, yeah, no +1 anymore. Let's copy that just in case. So it starts at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 9 pages. We have 9 pages. So for some reason we go to 10. I'm not sure why. We have an extra page now somewhere. So max pages. Oh, we're starting at an additional one. So like this, maybe that works. Because yeah, we have an additional one page that we start at. Because we start counting at one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh wait, no. This should be. Wait, why? I'm confused. Okay, the range is correct. We select the correct amount. That's right. I mean, does this just work? I think it does. That is the last one. But I'm confused. Didn't we not have to subtract one from this before? Something in the math. Something in the math was being weird. I'm too tired to figure it out right now. But okay, I don't know. I can't think of why that was happening, but the important thing is it is working. That's the important thing. I might not know why it's working, but it's working. Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, we can organize this a little bit. Make it look a little prettier. But other than that, I think it's good to go. Doo-ba-doo-doo. This complains about eek. For some reason. Cool, cool, cool. Looks good to me. Oh yeah, and then this next button class. That can be oh, I see. So, loaded. This can actually be, let's go to this type. That's right. And is empty. Like that. So now 27. Why did that change? Oh, that's in list. Oh, did I accidentally change something in the repository? Oh, when did that happen? Weird. Okay, fine. Okie dokie. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, okay. So here, the button, there, it's loading too fast. It's loading way too fast. It's loading way too fast. Ooh, we do have another mistake here. We're skipping the first 5. Look, humanoid is here, but if we go to the beginning, it's not there. So we are actually missing some here. And that kind of explains a lot, actually. There is a bug in the paginator. So we start at 1. Okay, okay. I don't like the start at 1 thing. Let's take that away. Let's start at 0, like we were before. Let's do that. Okay, that's how it wants me to do it. That's fine. Okay. Okay, okay. Let's redo this. So if state starts at 0, then we do that. And these now are just +1, +1, and +1, because we are artificially increasing them so the user sees that they start at 1, but with our math, they start at 0. So that should fix that problem. So we see humanoid, that's the first one. But I think the problem where it goes to the last page, that's still a problem. Why does it do that? So we have 12 pages. I guess, I mean, we can just keep the saturating sub here. I don't know why it's here, but I mean that fixed it. I think that's still gonna work. We have 12. And you know, this is the last one. You should see at the bottom here, and we do. We see it at the bottom there. And if we change, because maybe I was thinking like maybe if it perfectly divided the amount, So let's do like 7 here. So it's not going to perfectly divide. So 13, it was 5 before, so it's 12 times 5. So 60 is not perfectly divided by 7. That should be fine. So now we should see that same org, or that same repo at the end. So now we have only 8 pages. At the end, we don't see it. Okay. I'm starting to get what the problem is. I am starting to get what the problem is, I think. So if it's perfectly divisible by this number, it adds an extra page. But that last page is there because if it's not perfectly divisible, the last page will have stuff on it. So it needs to display this last bit here. So how do we deal with that? So the number of pages should be this value minus 1 if it's perfectly divisible, otherwise this value. Is there a better way to express that? So if dang, I don't like math. It's also like 3 a.m. here, so my brain's kind of mush. But we can get this. We can get through this. I just need to think it out for a second. Cuz I could do it just like so this number is okay, like we can do this. It was 5 repos per page with 12 pages. So 5 times 12 is 60. So there's 60 repos total. And divided by 7 is 8.5. So do we round up? Do we round up or down? I think we round down when we divide by integers. Pages. And R equals let's go rest usize. Oh. I like that. Okay. So the AI has saved me here, but that's exactly what I was thinking. And this should be, I don't want it to panic here. This should be a saturating sub of 1. Now, I was thinking, is there a handy do I mean, that's pretty clear. But there should be something, a function that divides and takes the remainder at the same time. So, oh, we're also dividing by, okay, page size, which can't be 0 because we set it manually. So div Is there not? Is there not something that takes the division and remainder at the same time? Well, let's not spend too much more time on this. This should work though. So if we go, we're at 7 pages now. So we should go, oops, we should go to 9, and that's the last one there. And if we go to 5 pages, which is easily divisible or evenly divisible, we should stop at the last, oops, stop at the last page, yep. And that's also the last one. Cool. That works. That fixed a bug. That was, I'm sure it was there last time, it's just we didn't see it because we didn't get the evenly divisible part. But that works. That works well now, so that's good. For the rest of this, I kind of like these to be below, the helper functions to be below. Kind of self-explanatory. Yeah, that all works. Cool. I like that a lot. And then for the entry, okay. So do these comments also are talking about something that I wanted to add real fast, which was the form. So I'm not sure, but I think let's format this for a second so I can see. Can I do form? this. Says on submit. On submit. Does that work? I wonder if that works. I'm not sure it works actually. Oh, I think we do on submit on the form type. I think. And then we have to do something here. Let's see if I remember we have to intercept the submit event so it doesn't redirect us. So let's look at, let's see. How do I use a form element in you? I'm not sure that's what I want. So, if I remember correctly, I can do event like that. Okay, so this is called a submit event. Event dot prevent default. Okay, that's where we want. Prevent default. That will create. Okay, that worked. That will make it so it doesn't redirect us. So if I go like this, we can press enter now. That works. Or we can hit submit. So if we do this, we press submit, it works. If we do this and hit enter, it also works. Very nice. So that was a quick fix. And then I think we're fine here. I think we've got everything we want. I'll leave the on focus event there. Not sure. Yeah, that's kind of an opinionated thing. I think we'll leave it here. So submit and enter. That's fine. I like that. And then, so this is looking good. Let's just look over what we have. Does this all make sense? I think it does. This all makes sense. And yeah. So what do we have here? Oh, one last thing. So in the get repos, when we're loading the organization, we do one additional request. Because right now we don't, so we have this function that I actually removed, but it got the last page from the response. So we knew exactly how many pages that we could get total. Now that's quite handy. We could go in and re-add that function and then remove that last request, because what it does is it makes this request and it keeps going until we get a response with an empty response. So when we get an empty response, then we stop trying and we and we're done. But the cost of that, just kind of going in dumbly, is we create an extra request that doesn't actually need to be there. Now, whether or not that matters, I'm not sure, because we load them right when we get them, right here. We're not actually displaying any less to the user. Like, it's not taking any extra time. I mean, one additional request on like a public API, I'm not sure it matters too much, honestly, if I'm going to be honest. But like the absolute correct thing to do would be to add it back in. So we might add that in at some point. I think I'm going to leave it how it is right now, just because it's getting kind of late, and I want to wrap up this as soon as possible. But I think we can finish off with some docs on the functions we added. So load the project series for a given organization, adds to organization state as they're loaded in. Let's also leave a note here saying this call causes the entire organization state to be cloned once. Is probably fine, but may not scale well for very large a very large go list. What we could eventually do is like if we get the last page and we know how many pages we're getting, we could like only like we could delay updating the repositories, and we could like clone them less often. That could be interesting. So that might be worth thinking about. Just make sure this is clear. Okay. And that kind of makes sense. I think this is fine. I don't want to get too confusing here. Um, let's go to the repositories page and add some more information here. So, state of an organization. That's kind of self-explanatory. Up to the repository name. We'll also reset the repositories because we are changing United States. A separate call to load. What is the load organization? That is in create services, get repos, load organization. Load organization must be made to actually load the new repositories. And maybe set name is wants me to do this. I like using like default here because if I change like the type, then this is still gonna compile. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Here. Set name, set name, set name. Can we call this reset? Like reset, update name, set name. Let's just leave it like that. I mean, we don't have to get too crazy. Repository info, that's self-explanatory. Repository is also self-explanatory. Archive state. Yeah, that all looks good. Yeah, I think this is all good. Let's describe this. The filter for the pagination view includes all variants of archive state. Cool. Like that. So that is looking good. So let's look at what we did here. So we updated some docs. In the organization entry, we just added the form so we could use the enter key as long as well as the submit button. So that worked pretty well. We added some docs to the repository card props. That makes sense. Toggle state docs. We rearranged. What is this? The repository card a little bit just to make it a little easier to read. That was nice. We did the optimization on the repo list message, and um, we arranged the repository list a little bit. We we factored out this um, this ugly mess into a much nicer just function call, into a quick control flow improvement as well, which was really nice. And then moved around some functions. So this is in the paginator. We fixed the paginator stuff. We found a bug there and fixed that. And moved some functions down. And then we went into the organization and made sure we had some descriptive docs. Oh, and the select. Let's go ahead and document the select function as well. That works pretty well. I think it can be serial values. And then we don't need this like that. That simplifies it quite a bit there. Very nice. And then, do we even need this header here? Does that break anything? It doesn't. We didn't need that. Let's move this down to the other helpers here. Self-explanatory. The range is selected after filtering. So that's kind of important, relevant, because yeah, it does matter, I think. Because yeah, so if we did this up here, then we would like skip a bunch that maybe didn't matter. Like if we did this, we would skip a bunch, and then the filter happened after. We could actually end up filtering out um filtering out. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I think this is right though. I think this is right. I'm pretty sure this is right. And it seemed to behave correctly, so that's nice. I don't know why it's warning about this must use thing. I don't think these should be with must use, but oh well. Select yada yada yada. Okay, I think that's good. I think that's good. Okay, so let's continue. So we got all that. We're over at filtering here. Yeah, so the select, we added the docs to select. We improved the select function, so that's even simpler now. Very nice. And then can you real quick, can you have, so if we have a range like equals 9 to 1, that is a valid range. So this could potentially panic if somebody puts in the wrong range. So first I want to check if there's like a iterator, if there's like a helpful function that we can use. for iterators. So let's look at that. Partition last map max. Take and skip. No, that's what we already have. Partition. No. Yeah, I think we have it right here. So what we can just do here is just do a saturating sub of range. So what this does is like they might put it in wrong, but it should still work. So if like for example, start is 7 and end is 1, it'll just be from 7 to 0. It'll skip to 7 and take 0. So it won't behave correctly, but we won't panic at least. And actually, that's actually not what we want. We actually want to panic here, I think. Now that I'm thinking about it, we don't want to just fail silently and some weird behavior is going to happen and the user, like the programmer, isn't going to know what's happening, really. What we can do here is assert that yeah, we need to assert that the start is less than end. Like that. So start must be less than end at all times, or equal to. And that will tell us that'll give us a useful error message if that happens. And it'll panic here instead of panicking here. And if it panics here, then we'll just get like a underflow problem. Whereas if it panics here, we'll get the handy error message, which is going to be much better, much better. Okay. All right, I think that's it. Let's just give it one more look-see here. Yeah, that all looks really good. I'm a lot happier with where we're at. So let's commit this. We're polishing, so polish. And document. Very nice. And what we can actually do, I also like to see, so let's go to here. I think we go here, check their pull request here. Then we can look at the files changed. I like the GitHub UI as well. So let's look at what we did. Looks good. We didn't change that much. We did add a form here. And we formatted the HTML as well. Looks good. Org dispatch. there. I really like what we did here. This is a lot better than what we had before. That's a lot easier to read. That's a lot easier to read. Like, it's very clear. If it doesn't exist, we turn right away. Otherwise, we set this. Like, that's... How can you get any simpler than that? Cool. We saw that. We saw this stuff. Cool. And then this is the repository list. Range filter toggle state. Empty message. Looks good. We use this helper function here. Much better than that long chain of iterator. That iterator chain was a little unruly, hard to read. So now that we have a quick helper method to get it instead, we have this control flow, this early return control flow. I really prefer this over the if else. It's just easier to read for me. And then we have this this diff is kind of annoying to read, but we have this really easy collection thing going on. Looks good. Paginator. Oh yeah, we tore out all the request stuff there. But now we have all this stuff. We finally figured out what was wrong with the pages. This I would not have figured that out if we hadn't gone back. That would have been a bug, a long-standing bug. So I'm glad we found that. Glad we found that. Toggle state. Some button stuff. Looks good, looks good. We tore out all the other stuff, so there's lots of removals there. And then this is the repository state. We have our docs here now. They're clear at what it's doing. I have some optimizations here from last time. Yep, that all looks good. I'm really happy with this select function, or select method landed. Really happy with that. Look how clean it is. That's so clean. Our filters now have docs on them too. You know, You know, okay. So for the filters, we could, in theory, make these like callable functions. But like this could be a function that like just like a Bockstein FN and do okay. I'm gonna make that change. Let's because it might be better. We'll see. So if we go to the paginator, or no, this is going to be in the list here. If we go to the list, and instead of filter here, we have, instead of a vec, we have an fn that takes archive state and returns a bool. Can we do that? And so now in select, the filter would be impl fn takes archive state, returns a bool, like that. And then it would be this. This can be fn mute. oh, that returns a repository. So this returns a repo, and then filter would be repo dot archive state. And now that I'm thinking about it, we could even make this more like we can make this more flexible if we do use a repository here. We use a repository here, a repository, and now we do just use the filter here. And in the repository, our filters are no longer on So this is nice because we can like use function pointers here, but I think what we're gonna do okay. How are we gonna do this? I think what we'll do is we'll do how do we want to do this cleanly? Pub struct filter. That's going to be a box dyn fn mute. Takes repository and returns a bool. Like that. And then impl new and call. So now this is going to be a filter, and this is going to be repo call repo. Like that. And then in review and submit, we do filter pub function. This is going to be we need one function to make all, to allow all. Like that. All. So in the paginator, we're going to go here, and the filter will be filter filter all, like that. And we just need to import filter here. And this is going to be repo filter. Cool. So that returns true for all of them, and then for the review and submit, we have only the ones that are kept in review. Let's do it this way. Archive state. What's the archive and kept in review? Archive kept in review. Filter for the repositories to display review and submit page. So the reason I'm doing this is it's now a lot more, it's like a lot simpler, and it lets us construct and select repositories a lot easier. So like if we want to extend like a filter to, filter by name, for example, we could do that as well. And like this. Okay, those two helper methods we're not going to use now, but I could see them being used in the future. Cool. That works. Okay, and so review and submit, we have an error. Filter. Okay, so the repository list repository list. We'll need now to use a repo filter. And I go here. Ooh, these need to be partially equal. So this actually needs to be an RC. No debug. No equal. Can I do partial equal though? I think I need to manually implement partial equal. Will it do it for me? Just like that. Nice. Okay. Review and submit still. So review and submit. What do we got? Repo filter. Review and submit. Review and submit. Just like that. Repository. Ooh, they're mutable now. Ooh, that's rough. We can't have this be fn mute. Okay, that's fine. Sure, we could find some way, maybe, but for now, I think this is fine. I mean, I don't think we need them to be mutable. Let's put this at the bottom. Let's remove these. Let's go remove that unused import. Looks good. Okay. And then, yeah. Repository. Oh, we didn't want to move repository. This should still be here, I think. And then one other thing. Let's name this just state. Just because now there's a bunch of stuff in here that isn't really related to repository. Kind of is. Even better, we could call it organization. There you go. That's better. That's better. Okay. I like where that went. It's a small change, but I think like if this does get merged and it's used in the future and this project grows, can I just do this? Nice. If the repo grows and they start using it for like, you know, adding features to it, I think this filter pattern is going to be useful, definitely. This actually does not need to be mutable anymore. So we can do this and this, and then in the oh yeah, and then because it's now a reference, we need to add this stuff back in. I don't think we need to move. This is move. We don't need to move. And then in the repo card here, no, in the repo list, this can now be reference. Oh, we don't. It's already a reference. We don't need to do that. Cool. Refactor. Repository list filter. Use custom. So it adds a repo filter, which is much more flexible. And I don't think we need to expand on that. It's more flexible. That's it. We're flexible. We are flexible here. Very nice. Okay, I was thinking this was going to be a short video, but we found quite a lot to do. So it is what it is. Pretty happy where we ended. This filter type I think is going to be useful. I mean, we can add some quick docs on how to use it real fast. Filters, repositories. Yeah. We can do an example here. Let's see if one thing we can do is write a from. So impl from impl f from f that. So now now here we can do e or f where I did that in the wrong spot. Do I like that? Yeah, that's fine. That is fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, okay, yeah. And then we'll do the same thing here. So this is nice because it improves the interface a little bit. So now we can chain them together. So dot and something like that. I like that. I like that a lot. I do like that a lot. Where are we? Not here. Wait, no, we have organization here. I think that works. I can test the docs here real fast though. We are in ice-repos. Description is some, and it starts with a. Seems good. That worked. It works. It compiles. Look at that. Look at that filter interface. Isn't that so nice? Isn't that so cool and nice? Now, one thing we can do is F should actually implement into self. Oh, we just do that call. Yeah. Okay. It likes that. It likes that. Okay. And then same thing here. Same thing here. Then do this, dot call. Like that. Oh, that was pretty clear. Why do I have to do it on this one but not this one? Oh, this is F. That's why. Okay. Test the docs. Does that still work? Ooh, that doesn't work. That makes it harder. That makes it harder. So, okay. Maybe I should just stop now while I have. So what I want to do here is if I have two repo filter types, I'd like to combine them somehow. But this kind of doesn't matter very much. Like this is just a small change. So let's go ahead and do this again because should be calling it this way. So the problems, so we have an into trait done. But the problem is it doesn't know, it needs us to specify the type of a closure if we don't already have it. So we're getting into the weeds of this kind of stuff. What if I did something like unpack here? So if I did repo filter all.unpack, does this compile? I want to know if that compiles. It needs to be that compiles. Okay. Okay, that's a I mean that's not the best interface, but it works. It lets us quickly add functions here and also add like a filter here as well. This is such a weird interface. I spent way too much time on this part. But this compiles, like this works. This is nice. There is, I don't think there should be. That's or F. Should be F. Yep. Just like that. Cool. All right, we have a genuinely awesome interface. Way more than we actually needed ever. But it is what it is. I had fun doing it, and I don't regret a thing. Cool. Now we have this repo filter type. There is one more thing that we can do to this filter type to make it even more abstract, and that would be just doing um, making this generic over the type it's filtering, like that. But that's, I don't think we need to do that. I don't think we can do it. I mean, there's nothing stopping us, and it wouldn't be that hard at all. But like in this app, like what else are we gonna be filtering? Like there's no use. There's no reason to do it. It's just added a little bit of extra complexity that we don't need. So I think we can leave it sorry. We're going to leave it as is and call it a night, I think, because we spent a lot more time than we were expecting on this. And I am tired. So let's go push these changes. Look at what we did over here. Refresh. So now we have this filter type. So now we have, okay, so this is the organization entry. Oh, that changed because we changed the organization file from the repository to organization. Looks good. This is the repository card. List. Now we have this repo filter. That's going to be used to select stuff. Then we have the paginator, and the repo filter doesn't filter everything. It uses all of them. It's good. Review and submit. We use the review and submit filter. Looks good. Then that's fine. And that's fine. Organization. Okay. So this is good. This will be really handy when we want to filter the organizations based off of their name or other things as well. So it's good that we actually did this. We didn't actually need to make the interface so fancy, but I was having some fun, so whatever. That looks good. Fine. 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 And one last thing, we haven't actually checked if the app works recently. So let's do that. Okay, we're still displaying everything. Looks good. We uncheck some things. Okay, looks good. They do disappear. They stay unchecked. We uncheck things here. Looks good. Go back here. Go like that. Human node, uncheck, go back. Human node is unchecked. Okay, that looks good. I'm happy with that. We're looking good. That was probably the last iteration on state management. I'm pretty happy with where everything is at. I am satisfied if that just sits as a PR for the rest of its lifespan. It's perfectly fine. I just wanted it in a good spot to where like newcomers would understand kind of what good practices are and how you'd organize something like that. So if that gets merged, awesome. If it doesn't, completely fine. I if it just sits there and is like an example, that's all that I could ask for. So, all right, I will call it a night then. I'll leave all of the relevant links in the description. And yeah, thanks for watching.